Man, it really does change the entire Sunday, rest of the day after a Browns win. Gentlemen, good to see you. Oh, the weight of losses have been lifted. We are here,
No,
and
So
stop
there's been whispers of playoffs that I've
Yeah,
heard
oh
throughout
yeah.
this week. But
Playoffs.
we'll continue our 4 quarters of Believin. We usually say, what should the Browns change following a loss? But we'll ask the same thing after a Browns win. Drew, let's get 3 minutes on the clock. The play clock has started. Drew, anything to change?
A little bit. Yeah, I've got a couple thoughts. So 13 for 18 for 116 yards for Mr. Gabriel last week or this week, whatever it was. That's good enough for 6.5 yards per attempt, which gets you just below the league average, but is a huge improvement, believe it or not, for the Browns. That trend has to find a way to continue, but if you dig into those numbers just one step deeper, the average depth of target, the A dot, it's an analytics. So Eric, I'll plug your ears here, but that is less than 6 yards. That is the lowest in the league, and they have to find a way. I keep saying it. They have to find a way. Please try to find a way to throw the ball down the field. They haven't been able to do it. Because of that, you're seeing so many people in the box. Quinshon Judkins played really well, I thought, but 25 carries for 84 yards. That's good enough for 3.4 yards per carry. There's just too many people around the line of scrimmage. They have to try to get the ball down the field a little bit.
Eric, what should the Browns change?
it would be great if they could have some success on the road. Essentially, they're going to have to be road warriors. The Browns have lost their last 11 away games going back to the Jaguars game of last year. There's going to be the crowd noise. There's going to be a young, good roster that they will be facing. They're going to have to replicate what they did last week, get an early lead, rely on the defense to force passing attempts for Drake May, I almost said Mac Jones, and generating multiple turnovers is the key. Finally winning the turnover battle. They've been doing that the last couple weeks, and now it's just, are they able to take advantage of those opportunities? They were fortunately able to last week, and I hope that can continue this week. They're facing a quarterback that's had a solid season, has not thrown 3 interceptions in a game like the last quarterback they just faced. However, he's still young, and hopefully Jim Schwartz, who got the game ball last week, can confuse him and kind of rely on his inexperience as a signal caller in the NFL.
Yeah, it was a great game. We saw a lot of Quinshon Judkins, as you guys have mentioned. Hopefully we see more of him. Who knows what the weather is going to be here for this game. But hopefully some more Quinshon Judkins. Let's go to the second quarter here. How to beat the Patriots. Eric, let's go back to you here. How do you beat the Patriots?
I think it's going to have to be strength on strength. Looking at both teams' defensive statistics, both have only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns the entire season, and the Patriots are averaging just over 77 yards rushing allowed per game. So, despite that fact, I still expect the Browns to use their offensive game plan and use a big boss man like Quinshon Judkins and exceed 20 carries in this contest. Yes, the Browns are not employing Tajay Spears or a past his prime Alvin Kamara, who the Patriots have faced the last 2 games. So I would hope that they can have more rushing success than those 2 running backs. Again, it's still going to come down to that positive turnover margin. And Drake May's 5 wins, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in his 2 losses, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So I don't expect to be +4 in the turnover margin, but it may be a mistake or 2.
No.
Drake May.
Dude, no way.
Chance.
No shot.
To have a chance in this
That
one.
is the worst of all. No way.
Eric knows the cheat codes here. Drew, back to you. How to beat
All
these
right,
Patriots.
so hang on a second. First of all, what a rush was right there for him. And you gave him a touchdown for the big boss man. That is this whole thing is under protest right now.
He's underrated, let me say.
Okay, speaking of underrated then, Drake May has actually been very good this season, and he's been especially good under pressure. He is one of the better passer ratings in the league under pressure. He was pressured 16 times last week, which is a decent amount for sort of a blowout win. He completed 10 of them for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, he has been very good under pressure, and I'd like to see that against the Browns. That's, they're going to have to pressure him with the front four. That's what the whole defense is predicated on. So I'm looking forward. If we're talking strength on strength, I'd like to see that. But my biggest thing against the damn Patriots is they cannot get out coached again. They have been just brutally outcoached every time they've played this team, especially under Kevin Stefanski. The
And we got to call it
Belichick is not there anymore.
You're pushing the referees here on this play clock. I do give you
not there anymore. Figure it out.
I give you 3 points. It will be a very negative story if Vrabel is the victor, a guy who was in our coaching circle last year, and he beats Stefanski. Really, yeah, that would be another frustration. But let's not focus on that. Third quarter of Believin. Drew, are the Patriots overrated?
I go back to, I forget the movie that it is. It's not, is it possible to be overwhelmed, underwhelmed, or just whelmed? I don't think they're overrated because I don't think anyone thinks they're all that great. Just to sort of recap what they've done. They lost to the Raiders week 1. Here we go. They lost to a very average Pittsburgh Steelers team week 3. Talk about a bad loss. But since then, they have won 4 in a row. You look at some of the teams they've played that they've beaten: Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, and Titans. That is not exactly murderer's row, but they do have a very sort of signature win. They went into Buffalo and they beat the Bills. So, I think they sort of, we are who we thought they were. They are a team that's good. I'm not going to take that away from them, but that they can only play who's on their schedule. I think this team, they still have a lot to show, but this is not a bad team. This is not the Patriots of the last couple of years, the post-Brady era. They seem to have found something with Drake May, and I'm not going to make the terrible pun. That is outrageous. That is a cheap pop, and you know it.
Speaking of puns, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the win out of the Bills' victory out of the schedule, then yeah, I think you could kind of have that argument. You have the Titans, Saints, Dolphins, all 1-6 they defeated, and they lost to a 2-5 Raiders team. However, the Bills game does count, so I will not call them overrated. They're simply taking advantage of an early soft schedule. My backlight just went out. Do you want me to?
No, keep going. You're doing great.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah, so they did win their last 3 games. All 3 games were on the road. That is something a more veteran type of team is able to accomplish, as opposed to some of those younger teams that kind of get those lucky wins at home and kind of, fall apart on the road. They are young in several areas outside of Drake Way. They do have 2 starting offensive linemen who are rookies. So I can see them blow a home contest that they're supposed to win after winning a couple on the road. So I expect we're able to get them fired up early, but the Browns, if they can match the intensity early on, they have a chance in this contest. But no, they are not overrated.
Technical difficulties hurting Eric in the third quarter. Let's move to the fourth quarter. You still look great, Eric. Believe or bail, Gabriel, 190 yards or more. Is he going to throw more than 190? Eric, let's go back to you here.
Yeah, the Patriots gave up 255 yards last week to Cam Ward, 227 yards to Spencer Rattler the week before. Earlier in the year, they gave up 315 yards passing to Tua. Granted, he had Tyreek Hill at the time, but still, we saw what Tua can or cannot do. So, yes, the Browns are going up against the 7th worst passing defense in terms of yards allowed, 235 a game. So I think they're going to have an opportunity for a decent passing attack. They're going to play in a more comfortable climate. Is also going to be helpful, nice and sunny and dry. And I think the reins get loosened a little bit as Gabriel will hopefully feel a little more comfortable in the pocket. So I think he's going to not necessarily turn it loose, but at least go further down the field. And I think he can eclipse that 100-yard passing mark. So to that, I say Oh, yes, he will.
Oh, just keeping it interesting. I'm tempted to subtract, but I haven't invented that button yet. Drew, it's within striking distance. Gabriel, is he going to throw for more than 190?
Yeah, first of all, petition for the negative points. I know we don't offer that in the NFL, but formal petition for that. So let me expand on that just for a second. For one thing, Eric said the Patriots defense is the second worst in the league in terms of yards per attempt. They give up 8.1 yards per attempt. They are susceptible to big plays in part because of how they play ball and because of how they pressure the passer. You have to be able to protect it. I don't know for certain that the Browns are going to be able to do that. They haven't shown the greatest offensive line that's ever been assembled thus far, but I think they can block it, and I think they can hopefully hit something down the field. I'm sorry, talk about losing points. I have to bail on Dillon Gabriel until he shows me the ability to throw the ball down the field. It is really struggling, really difficult to watch this offense. Everything has to go just perfect for them to move the ball and to score. The defense isn't going to score a touchdown and set them up on the 5 every single game like they did against the Dolphins. So for now, I have to bail on it. Not having David Njoku, I think, is going to hurt this as well.
Good point there, Eric. If you would have had a 2x4, I would have given you a touchdown. But
there you go.
This one's going to Drew. Drew, or the American flag. Very good point. Drew, do you have a Monday morning headline?
I do. It's 1 minute away. Man, Browns keep it close. Lose late.
Disappointing. All right. Go Browns. Let's get another victory.
Go Browns.
Browns.